The first time Daniel heard her name again, it came like a bruise pressed too hard, sudden, tender, impossible to ignore. He was standing in the cereal aisle, one hand gripping a shopping list smudged with crayon fingerprints, the other steadying his 6-year-old son who was trying to climb the cart. Then the cashier laughed at something, and a woman behind him said softly, "Maya." The sound of that name cracked open 20 years in a single breath. Daniel turned before he could stop himself. The woman was older now, of course, so was he, but the eyes were unmistakable. The same warm brown, the same way they searched a room like they were always looking for something worth believing in. For a heartbeat, neither of them spoke. The grocery store noise faded, replaced by the echo of promises made on a dusty playground when life felt endless and simple. "Daniel," she whispered, as if saying it too loudly might make him disappear. He swallowed. "Maya. 20 years ago, she'd said, 'I'll marry you one day,' and laughed like it was a joke." Daniel had laughed too, because they were 13 and fearless and poor in everything except hope. But life had carried them in opposite directions, and now here they were, two strangers stitched together by a childhood memory that never quite let go. Maya was the first to smile. "I can't believe it's you." Daniel nodded, suddenly aware of the tired lines on his face, the way his shoulders sagged like someone who'd learned to carry too much alone. "Yeah, me neither." His son tugged his sleeve. "Dad, can we get the dinosaur cereal?" Daniel looked down, embarrassed. "Sorry. This is my son, Eli." Maya crouched to Eli's level, her smile gentle and unforced. "Hi, Eli. I'm Maya." Eli studied her carefully, then grinned. "You look nice." Maya laughed, a sound that hit Daniel straight in the chest. "Thank you. You're very polite." They talked awkwardly at first. "Where do you live now? What do you do?" The safe questions people ask when they're afraid to ask the ones that matter. Maya had moved back to town to take care of her mother. Daniel had never left, not really. Life hadn't given him the chance. "Coffee?" Maya asked, hesitating. "If you're not busy." Daniel almost said no. He was always busy, work, laundry, homework, pretending he wasn't lonely. But something in her eyes stopped him. "Yeah," he said. "I'd like that." Over coffee, the years began to soften. They talked about school days, about the old oak tree where they used to sit and dream out loud. Maya remembered things Daniel thought he'd forgotten, the way he used to give away half his lunch to kids who didn't have one, how he'd once skipped a field trip so another boy could go instead. "You were always like that," she said quietly. "Putting everyone else first." Daniel shrugged. Someone had to. He didn't tell her about the nights he'd gone to bed hungry as a kid, or how that instinct to give had followed him into adulthood. He didn't tell her about Eli's mother, how she'd left when Eli was 2, saying she wasn't built for sacrifice. Some people weren't, Daniel had learned. He was. They started meeting more often. Playdates turned into dinners, dinners into long walks after Eli fell asleep. Maya watched Daniel with his son, how patient he was, how he listened like Eli's words mattered. It stirred something deep and aching in her. One evening, as they sat on Daniel's porch watching fireflies blink in the dark, Maya finally asked, "Why didn't you ever leave? You were smart. You could have gone anywhere." Daniel stared into the night. "Because someone always needed me." Maya reached for his hand, then hesitated. "Do you ever think about what we said back then?" He smiled sadly. "All the time." She let out a shaky breath. "So do I." The past wasn't as simple as memory made it seem. Maya carried her own regrets, relationships that almost worked, choices made out of fear instead of love. Daniel carried exhaustion, the quiet weight of being everything to everyone. When Maya's mother passed away that winter, Daniel was there without being asked, bringing meals, fixing things around the house, sitting in silence when words felt useless. "You don't have to do all this," Maya said one night, tears slipping free. "I know," Daniel replied gently. "I want to." That was when she understood. Kindness wasn't something Daniel performed. It was who he was, even when it cost him. The turning point came on a rainy evening, the kind that made the world feel small. Eli had a school event, and Maya came along. Watching Daniel cheer louder than anyone else, Maya felt her chest tighten. Afterward, as Eli ran ahead, she stopped Daniel under the flickering streetlight. "Do you remember what I said when we were kids?" she asked. He nodded. "You said you'd marry me." "I wasn't joking," she said, voice trembling. I was scared. And then life happened. But seeing you now, I don't want to be scared anymore. Daniel's heart pounded. Maya, I'm not, my life is complicated. I don't have much to offer. She stepped closer. You offer everything that matters. For the first time in years, Daniel let himself believe that maybe kindness could come back around. Maybe selflessness didn't always mean ending up alone. Eli interrupted them, grinning. Why are you both crying? They laughed through tears. Maya wiped her eyes. Happy tears. Months later, under that same old oak tree, Daniel knelt, not with a grand speech, but with honest words. I don't know what the future looks like, he said. But I know who I want to face it with. Maya said yes before he finished. On their wedding day, Eli walked Maya down the aisle, beaming like he'd just won the world. As Daniel watched them approach, he thought of the boy he once was, making promises he didn't understand yet. Life hadn't followed the path he imagined, but it had led him back to the one person who saw him, then and now. When Maya took his hands, she whispered, I told you I'd marry you. Daniel smiled, eyes shining. You kept your promise. And in that moment, surrounded by love earned through patience, sacrifice, and time, Daniel understood something simple and powerful. Humanity had a way of bringing kind hearts back together, no matter how long it took.